Hey y'all, sorry about that, but I'm back with part two. So, yeah, I kind of abruptly decided to do that, and I apologize. This is like a handmade sort of like mulberry paper, um, very pretty with the leaves in it, with the skeleton leaves in it. And then here's another one of the little pockets that I made. This one's a little bit different. And then in each one of these pockets, I did put a little piece of vintage paper in here from a book that I found last weekend when I went to visit my sister-in-law. And I may show you that in another video. It's a really cool leather book, and it was just full of that blank vintage paper. It was a binder. So really cool paper. And then this is Tim Holtz paper. And put a little bead up here. And this is that vintage eyelet, some of that vintage eyelet trim. I believe that's what that, no, this is another piece of vintage lace. That was the piece off of another one another piece of lace that I cut off, and I made a little ruffle out of it. Put that on there. And then you can see this, there's plenty of room in here, plenty of room in this journal. For you to write, you know, add your fun things to, and use, you know, the things that I've included in here. So this is some embossed cardstock, craft cardstock, and then here's the little pocket that I made, and another little, I just made this kind of like a little tag, another graphics fairy image. Vintage music paper, some graph paper, some of that really nice handmade paper. And here I was trying to do something else here. There was a page in here that I actually had to take out. It was just too fragile. And so you've got some little extra interest here with some paper where I was trying to save that in the book, but it just wasn't working. This is some Tim Holtz vellum. And then some more embossed paper, vintage ledger, vintage stationery, and then some pretty little buttons in the middle of this signature. And like I said, you can see I left you a lot of space for you to make these journals your own. Here's another little printable from Ruby and Pearl, this French ledger. So there's French stuff mixed in here along with, you know, just regular stuff, you know, from the US, and, you know, so it's not all French. It's just a mixture of all kinds of things. This is a beautiful lace runner that I found a long time ago, and it's just super long, really big, and I've been able to use, I still have a ton of it. I've used it a lot. I made this into like a little pocket here, but I just left it so you could just see how pretty that is. It's just beautiful. This is some paper this is almost like a watercolor texture paper that I kind of coffee dyed. One day I was messing around and I had that blank paper sitting, so I threw some in there. I threw some coffee on it. Here's another little journaling card that I made, Ruby and Pearl. This is also Ruby and Pearl that I made a little envelope, okay, and a little envelope out of this. And I started to like embellish those. That was another video that Heather at Ruby and Pearl did. She made some like little embellished envelopes out of some of her printables, and she added other little bits to it. But then I thought, no, I want to let you have fun doing what you want to do with it. Some really old vintage music. This little piece was fairly I just didn't like this particular receipt, so I embossed some of that avocado dyed. I had a scrap, and then I just glued that on there. I just thought that was prettier. So, and then this is Rosemary Morris Eco Dyed Paper. And then I just took a piece of cotton, and that was I wonder if that was, this might have been some of her dyed fabric that maybe she wrapped something in. I made a ruffle out of it and then put a little bead down here. And some more pretty, this is a pearl button here. Really pretty buttons in the signatures. Did the same thing with this. It's one of those vintage receipts that I just thought this looked so much prettier on it, so did that. And then there's a little tuck back here. This is on some mixed media paper that I had tea dyed, and then did the stenciling on that. And then another Graphics Fairy. I love these Graphics Fairy postcards. If you're not a member over there, she has some really cool stuff, and it's, you know, you can do several types of memberships, and I thought about canceling it because sometimes I just don't use it that much, but other times I'll go in there and just print a ton of stuff. And she has such a variety. There's so many things in there that you can use. Another little tag from Ruby and Pearl printable, and then I also stapled in one of the acetate sheets here, and then this is the back. And there's some other fun stuff tucked in the pocket for you back here. So, and this is, I don't know if I explained this fabric. So this is kind of like a canvasy sort of fabric, and it's, I'm pretty sure this is French. Yeah, this is French here. So that was one reason, like, I just really didn't have anything at the time when I made this cover that really went with that. So over the years I've collected stuff, and then I've bought, you know, a bunch of Heather's digitals and stuff with the French stuff, and it's really popular right now in our world. So just really, really pretty. And this journal is fairly lightweight. It's not super heavy. And I love this lady. I just love the image of her. So really pretty fun journal. All right, so that's the second one. So then here's your little goodie pack with this little girl. This is also another cover that I've had in my stash for quite some time. It's an old book, and I loved this fabric. This is like an upholstery sort of fabric, and I covered it, and then, you know, I never did anything with it. So my style, you know, starting out, really, I think is more geared toward the kids stuff, you know. So here's another piece of that really pretty lace that's like this really big runner. This is glued on here. I started to maybe make it a pocket, but I just took and very lightly, you know, with the fabric glue, and glued that on, and then did that around the edge. Now this is a smaller book. She is 5.5 by 7 3/4, and maybe like a 1.5 inch spine. And there's 2 signatures in here. This is the tie. So she is layered. I did put a little Imagine, the Tim Holtz word on here. Really pretty pearl buttons right here with some, I made the ruffle from the sari. And this little girl is so cute. I think she's so pretty. And then this is a little pocket. This is vintage wallpaper back here. It is layered. And then I put this little vintage tag from Watch Parts. I think that came from Patty Lang. I stuck that in there along with one of these little vintage receive tags up there. Okay. And then it wraps around. And this is This is a sort of a cotton. This is like a sort of stretchy lace. I'm not sure if it's vintage. I think it's a little bit newer. I just knotted it right here so that it would stay where it needs to be for you to tie the journal. But you can certainly, you know, change that or, you know, unknot it if you don't like that. But I love this little girl. I think she's so cute. And so there's 2 signatures in here. And then I just covered the inside. I had covered the inside with some vintage ledger and just used like a cotton on the inside. And I didn't put any pockets in this because this is this is a smaller journal and I didn't want to bulk it up too much because I already sort of did that with some of the things I put in here. But anyway, I love the way this one turned out. I love the size of this one. It's very light as well, and there's plenty of writing space in here. This is actually a Graphics Fairy image, and then this is a pocket, so I created a pocket here, okay, across here. And then this actually just opens up like this, okay? And I clipped it shut with this little, I just put a little eyelet trim on that paper clip. But this is a pocket. And there's one of my little tags. So you could put, you could put more stuff in there. So just the same sort of papers. Lots of writing space. This is like an onion skin ledger. Real pretty buttons. This is a vintage pearl. I just attached this little tag to this ledger because it folds out. I think this came, I don't know if this is, I don't know if this is French. This is some French paper, I think, or German one. Here's some old vintage, like music paper. It's another printable. The Edith Holden. Made a little pocket here with some really pretty vintage laces down here and one of those old prescriptions, and kind of made this little cluster and put a little bead down here. Let me see that. I have one in frame. So there's a little tag here, and then another tag that I made, and a piece of Tim Holtz paper in there. And then on the other side, I just tried to make this pretty. I just kind of wrapped that around. And it's glued there. It's not a tuck or anything. It's just kind of makes that look like a pretty little tab on the other side. This is some more Graphics Fairy paper. And then I made, I glued some other printable to the back of that printable ledger, and then made a pocket out of this really pretty hanky, vintage hanky. Some handmade paper, more true vintage ledger, more eco-dyed paper. This is another vintage ledger. This is just an envelope that I just clipped in. I clipped in here, and yeah, like that. And I just put a little piece of that vintage hanky and a pearl bead that I made there. So that comes out. Vintage writing paper, more of that resume paper that I embossed, and 2 very pretty vintage pearl buttons there. I know I keep saying that, but I love buttons. I really do. I use them in everything. If you know me, if you've watched any of my videos or purchased anything from me, you'll see buttons in just about every project I make. Here's some of that eyelet. Made a little ruffle. Okay, so here on the other side of this, I clipped this in. So this was another thing I was messing around with, the idea of the hidden pocket. And so I made this like a tag on the front, and then you can open it up, and then I put some paper here for you to journal on, and then there's a pocket on the inside, okay? And then back here, there's a pocket on this side. So isn't that kind of cool? I really like doing that. You know, and then, you know, putting the little ribbon on the tag, and it looks like it's attached to that. So I just clip this in. And then you can put it wherever you want to in the journal. Another top pocket with some really pretty ribbon that I had in my stash. It's not vintage, but it's just really pretty. So, tag. More little journaling spots. And then this this pretty pocket with this piece on the back. Really pretty cotton lace. And then another little bead that I clipped on here. And more little tags. Another one of the tags I made. And this is vintage wallpaper on here and vintage paper. So, diary. And then this is a piece, this actually came out of a small little book that I thought was kind of cool. I stuck it in here. Selected Poems of Tennyson. And this actually might have come in some stuff that Jessica sent me. Because I don't remember having that little book, so I think that's where that came from. But I tuck that in here. And then that is the back. So I wrapped this around to give it some interest here. I sort of wrapped this page. If you can see that, and I put a little label there, and then wrap this around the pocket. And then that's the back. So it's really pretty. It has all these little things, you know, it has all the things dangling out of it, and you know, all the ribbons, the little beads. Anyway, I'm just super, super happy. I hope you guys like these. I'm just really happy with how they came out. I think they're really neat little books, and you can do so much with them. So, all right. So one more. Oh, sorry about that. And then again, here's a little pack of goodies. Lots of stuff comes with these. So this little girl, this cover, I believe this cover came in, I bought Renee, I bought a kit from her a while back, that first blue book that I showed you, the first blue book I did, came in, and I believe this cover and this back was in that kit. It was like a blue kit she did. So she's mini, so she is like, I'm gonna say like 4 1/4 by 6 1/2. So really cute size, and really pretty cover. So I tried to, and I haven't knotted this around here. I just kind of tied this. I took some of those little tags and stamped on them, and this one says "Be Fearless," and just put a little vintage button on that. And it's just, it can come off really easy off of that. And then I just used twine. Kept it a little more simple. But I layered her. I did not stitch her, but I layered her, and I added these little bits of lace and this little really pretty, these little flowers came in a kit that I bought from Rosemary a while back. And then just little, like little cheesecloth back there, and another little bit, scrap of lace. And then some more of, this is another piece of that beautiful lace that's on that book I just showed, the red book. And then back here, this is actually like a little, you could actually hide something back here, like a little hidden journaling spot. Okay. I love these little girls. I think they're so cute. So that's that. And then you can see this book. This book was old and well loved. And I tried to preserve the spine because I had the spine and it just didn't work. I didn't like it. So this is also a piece of fabric that came in some Happy Mail, and if I'm not mistaken, this came from Renee. It was Renee or Jessica. I don't know. It was really pretty, and it just went so well with this. So ended up using that. So this, she's a little bit, when you open her up, it's still a little bit taut, you know. I think over time this will flex more, but it's because there's several layers, and the way I tried to put it together at first, and it just didn't work. So it's definitely sturdy like this. Unless you just go ripping on it, it is not coming apart anytime soon. I mean, all my books are sturdy, but this one is super. This one's not quite as flexible yet as some of them are, but feels great in your hand. And you know, I put a bunch of stuff in here too. It's just really pretty. I left the inside of the book. Okay, I left that the way it was. And then same sort of elements. So here's a little tag. Here's a little tag that I made just to tuck in here. And yeah, I'm just gonna flip through and try not to gab through the whole thing. Little pocket, little bits. I'll go back in there. Okay, there we go. And majority of this paper is vintage as well. Few printables in here, but the majority of this is original vintage. I just clipped those in. My pretty buttons. I used a different color wax linen thread for this one. Why is that sticking together? Did I glue that? I think no. Sorry. I was stuck. So this would be a fun little journal to, you know, carry around with you. And then here's another one of the pockets. So with this one, I use this. These images are just so pretty. And then writing space on the back, and then your paper in there. And you can add more, you know, you can add more to those things, and you can make it a tag, you know, whatever you want to do with it. This is Graphics Fairy. Here I did some paper layering, like some scrap paper layering, and then did the eyelet. And then I did that. So most of the sewing that I did was after I put the book together, and then I did the sewing and glued the things in. And this one's 3 signatures. And look at these. Look at these really pretty buttons. I just think these books, I'm so pleased with how these came out. I think they'd be lots of fun. Lots of fun to play with and create and write. And this is another really pretty lace, and I think this came from Laura at Laughing Dog's Book Nook with a little small kit I bought from her a while back, fabric stuff. Here's another tag that I made. And this particular one, I don't believe there's any, yeah, there's no scrapbook paper in here. It's either the digital printables or original pages. And this, this actually came from this book, okay? So that's what this was. It's Moore's Poetical Works. And I don't see a date on this. I don't know how old that little book was, but. And then here's another little lady that I just printed her out, and then there's some little paper in there, little scrap paper, and more beautiful pearl buttons. I really took a long time making these, and just had a lot of fun. Just had a lot of fun doing different, doing different things. This paper actually came from a ledger book, like the cover page from a ledger book, and this is natural aging of that, and really nice paper. And then this, I just folded this paper over, and then there's a tag, another one of my tags. But yeah, super happy with this one. I love the size of this one. Yeah, and she's chunky. She's a little chunky, but I also think that's from the book itself, where the flex, I think once you use it over and over and over again, you can see, and you can shut it, So anyway, that is this little one. And you can make up your own stories, I'm not good at that. I'm not good at that kind of, I'm not that kind of creative, like some of you are, about putting the stories with the photos and things like that. I think that's super cool. I wish I was, because I would name them and do that kind of stuff too. But yeah, I'll let you guys, whoever purchases these, I'll let you decide what you want to name them and how you want to use them, and I hope you guys like them. Please feel free to leave me feedback, preferably positive, but constructive comments work as well, So anyway, these little gems, when you see these videos, they will be in my shop, okay? And thank you guys for, spending an hour and 2 videos with me to go through all this. And I hope you like them, and I hope they find their forever home. And I will be back. I will be back soon with some other projects I'm working on, totally switching gears, going to those readers. And so that'll probably be the next thing that I do. And I also still have, and I'll probably do another video for this too, I still have 2 D-stash boxes and 2 of those fabric bundles. If you go back in my videos, I still have those things available if anybody is interested. And then the bags, I have had some interest in my bags. I'm still working on some of those, so I think what I'll do is when I get a bunch of those made up, I'll do a video and like number them or letter them and let you guys tell me what you want, okay? And I will see you guys soon. Love you. Thank you for all your love and support. Bye.